Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Pablo and welcome back to GG Sports. I am bringing you guys another series here on the channel. This will be the first episode of a brand new rebuild here in NBA 2K19, a realistic rebuild where you will see some gameplay, and we are going to be using the New Orleans Pelicans, who have just hired a new vice president of basketball operations, David Griffin, and he's already making some big moves. So if you're a Pelicans fan or a fan of the NBA, you know how good of a move, how smart of a move this was for a franchise who really needed some change. So I thought it would really be a good time to jump in as the Pelicans and witness this rebuild, take control of the rebuild, and shape this team how I see that the Pelicans should do it in real life. So this will be a series where you'll see some gameplay. You'll see how the team meshes together. This will not be an all sim series, so expect to see some gameplay. It will be limited gameplay, as we'll try to maybe show 10 games a season or something around there, so you guys get a good feel for how the team is performing. But this is a very good situation, a very attractive situation for David Griffin to step into, or any GM to step into. If you ask me, you have one of the best players in the league in Anthony Davis. Right now he's requesting to be traded. That was a messy saga last season, so David Griffin doesn't really have to concern himself with that. Right now he just needs to know that Anthony Davis does not want to be in New Orleans, so you're going to get a pretty good return for him. He has 1 year left on his contract, but we're going to get into the rest of the postseason, and then we're going to get into the draft lottery. That will be the primary part of this video, and then you'll see the results of our prospect scouting at the end of the video, along with a mock draft. So you definitely want to stay tuned to see where the Pelicans land in the NBA lottery. But the Golden State Warriors did win the NBA Finals over the Toronto Raptors in 6 games, and Steph Curry did win the MVP award. So now we are moving on to the league meetings. As we move on to the off season, we are finished with that season. The Golden State Warriors are champions. Now the Pelicans have a chance to get into their rebuild, but first we do implement a new rule where the 4 worst teams do have identical odds of landing the top pick. That is very similar to the odds in real life. I believe the top 3 teams have equal odds of landing the #1 pick, but here are the final lottery odds. The New Orleans Pelicans have the 9th best chance of landing the #1 overall pick. It likely will go to the Knicks, Suns, Hawks, or the Bulls, but we'll have to wait and see. At 9, the Pelicans still could get a talented player. We'll just have to wait and see, like I said, what they end up with. So we're getting started. The Charlotte Hornets did get the 14th pick, but now we're fast forwarding to what likely will be the Pelicans pick at number 9. So let's see, the 9th pick ends up going to the Boston Celtics. So the Pelicans will leapfrog here. We're going to end up fast forwarding. So the Pelicans go into the top 3. They do not end up getting the 9th pick. So this is somewhat of a dream scenario for the Pelicans. Now we're looking at the 4th drawing. So it looks like the 4th pick is going to go to the Phoenix Suns. So as I said, the Pelicans are now in the top 3. And the number 3 pick is going to end up going to the New York Knicks. So they get the number 3 pick, and the Pelicans will have a choice of either number 1 or number 2. This is honestly like a dream come true. The Hawks likely will get number 2, but instead it's the Pelicans. But that is still a win in my eyes and the fans of New Orleans eyes, I'm sure. And it definitely would be a win for David Griffin, having the 9th best odds, but then walking away from the draft lottery with the number 2 pick. And you did see the Pelicans pull off an unlikely lottery night back when they got Anthony Davis after the whole Chris Paul debacle. So a similar situation, if you ask me. You have a star on the way out the door, but the Pelicans are somehow rewarded for that by their draft lottery odds. So what a magical draft lottery night for the Pelicans franchise. They pull off the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. So that's likely going to be Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, or Zion Williamson. It all depends on who the Atlanta Hawks select, and it likely will be Zion Williamson. Everybody knows what he will do to rejuvenate your franchise, but there are also that percentage of people in NBA front offices who don't believe that he will be able to transition his game into the NBA because he's small, he's playing the 4. There's a lot of questions about that. So we'll see what the Hawks decide to do. NBA.com, with their exclusive insider information, believe that the Hawks will not go Zion number 1, and that will leave him on the board for the Pelicans. And you know David Griffin will not hesitate to pull the trigger on such a player to rejuvenate the franchise. So before we get into that, we're looking at our final staff. We did make a lot of changes. We signed a new CFO, a new trainer, and assistant GM, all who have very good grades and I think will contribute to the success we have this offseason. So we did invite a couple of prospects to a pre-draft workout, and we're looking at the results of Ja Morant. Like I said, he is likely going to be the prospect we select. And then we have Zion Williamson, and we're looking at his results. Pretty solid results, but look at his bench press, 28 reps. So we have a lot of reasons to be excited here in New Orleans. We somehow pulled off the number 2 pick. We also have a very attractive trade piece in Anthony Davis, who we may be able to flip to a team like the Knicks and get the number 4 pick, or we may be able to trade a little bit farther back and trade him to the Celtics for a combination of Jason Tatum and picks. So it all depends on the route that David Griffin wants to take and the offers that we get from some of the other teams. But to close out this video, we're going to take an extended look at the NBA.com mock draft, and as you see, the number 1 pick, they are projecting the Hawks to select RJ Barrett. And take a look at the top there. I'm just going to read it out. NBA.com uses its extensive connections within the NBA to form evaluations of draft prospects based on our discussions with the NBA's top scouts and general managers. So it seems like this mock draft does have some credibility, and all signs are pointing to the Hawks selecting RJ Barrett number 1. So that will leave Zion Williamson on the board for New Orleans. Even at 6'6", he's a monster athlete, even though there are questions about whether his game will translate or not, and that's possibly the reason why he's not being selected number 1 overall. But despite that, I believe the Pelicans will pull the trigger on him if he is available. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Should David Griffin and the Pelicans go after Ja Morant despite Zion Williamson possibly being on the board? Leave a comment, let me know. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Definitely appreciate you guys watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, where we will complete the trade for Anthony Davis. We will be completing that trade and getting our return, and then we'll also be going through the NBA draft. So I hope you guys are excited. This is where the Pelicans team will really be formed. Hope you guys are excited. See you guys later. Peace.